Yes, sir. We got the likes up today, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy T, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And tonight's live is going to be on 10 players that I think you should let your idiot league mates draft. Now, listen, I got to give this contingent out. I got to also confess this before we start. I don't think it's a bad player in fantasy that shouldn't be on the team. But because I thought this was a great live, I thought this would be a great title for a live, I wanted to tell y'all that there are a couple players that I'm not going to take. There are a couple players that I'm not going to take. And now that doesn't mean that they're going to be bad all year, but I think this is a great title. I think it hits the algorithm. And so there's a few players that I believe that can fit on this list. Now, will they have some good weeks? I definitely believe it. And it was hard for me to come up with a list because I don't look at no player as a bad player for all weeks. I pick up anybody to win a week. I pick up a quarterback. If my quarterback goes down and I got to pick up a backup to win, I'm doing it. I pick up anybody to try to win, right? But there are a few players that I don't want to draft at a high ADP. So I gave you a couple guys that I'm willing to fade at a certain position. What's going on, Siobhan? What's going on, Harambe? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, let me know how the volume is working. Let me know the volume is good. So, again, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. And again, there are no bad players in fantasy, but there are certain guys that I'm not just going to draft because of the ADP. And this list was hard for me to come up with. I just didn't see any bad players necessarily where I'm like, oh, I never draft them, right? It just depends what type of league I'm in. Also, I look at players like, and I always I always make a comparison like women. Like, if I'm in an apocalypse, ain't no woman gonna be disgusting to me, right? I'm a man, right? I'm a man. So why would a woman be disgusting? That's kind of, whatever, however you want to say that. So no woman would be disgusting. So no player to me is disgusted where I'm never going to draft them. But in order to make this content, I thought I did have about 10 players on this list that I'm not probably going to draft. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Thank you, Siobhan. Thank you. What's going on, Ronald? Strop City. What's up, Strop City? Appreciate everybody being here. Yes, sir. So, guys, let's begin. The first guy I want to talk about, and this is no particular order, is going to be J.K. Dobbins. Yes, guys, J.K. Dobbins. I'm not drafting no J.K. Dobbins. I'm not drafting no J.K. Dobbins. Now, listen, J.K. before he got hurt was a special player. He was going to be great. I'm not, and I don't want to say great. That's a little bit too strong. Even for me, that's too strong. But I think he was going to be a really good player, especially for the Baltimore Ravens. But when he got hurt the first time, I'm like, okay, he got a chance. And then he got that Achilles injury because he was out for 2 years with that knee injury. He didn't heal correctly. And that's probably what hurt that Achilles. He put too much stress on that Achilles working out, trying to rehab. And then he tore his Achilles. It's over. Now, listen, can he pull a Deontay Foreman? He can. I'm not going to be that truther. I'm not going to be that guy to say, hey, I told you about J.K. Dobbins. That's not for me. Just like other people might tell you, listen, man, that girl cute, man. She got some sexy eyes. You might say, listen, bro, she cute for you, brother. She ain't for me. J.K. Dobbins ain't for me. I'm not, all these running backs out here, backup running backs, rookie running backs that have plenty of opportunity, and I'm going to go draft a guy with an Achilles injury 1 year off the Achilles injury. Listen, I know we got great technology, but this ain't 3054. This ain't where we getting into no machine like we Dragon Ball Z and you go into some type of liquid and you heal automatically. I'm not drafting no running backs off no Achilles injury. Now, quarterback, a pocket guy, I might take a quarterback like a Aaron Rodgers. But a running back, I'm not doing it. And it took Deontay Foreman, what, about 3 to 4 years to come off his Achilles injuries? I know we in a different time. I'm just not drafting a running back like that. That's the main reason. If J.K. Dobbins had went through the injuries that he did with the Achilles, and he was on the Los Angeles Chargers, yes, I would be drafting him. I think he would be great value. And again, guys, I could be wrong. This guy could be Adrian Peterson, and boom, I'm not taking him. Okay, let's move on to my next guy. Excuse me. My next guy is going to be Jonathan Brooks from the Carolina Panthers. Yes, Jonathan Brooks from the Carolina Panthers. I'm not taking Jonathan Brooks from the Carolina Panthers the same reason why I'm not taking J.K. Dobbins. Now, look, Jonathan Brooks has a chance. You know, once he healed up, he only had one knee injury. You got about 1, maybe 2 knee injuries that you can go through as a running back, and you can still be valuable, right? So Jonathan Brooks is still okay, but I'm not drafting him in no drafts. If I can pick him up off waiver wires, yes. Now, Dynasty is completely different. That's why I said there's really no bad players in Dynasty. You never know what's going to happen. A guy could be sucky, and then he could come in and win you 2 weeks and help you win a fantasy football championship. Think about 7 to 8 years ago, guys like Elijah McGuire. He only started, 3 weeks in the fantasy football playoffs and was really good and helped people win a championship. So sometimes guys can be that. So I just want to give that caveat. But with Jonathan Brooks, where people are drafting him like in round 9 and 10 in redraft leagues, no sirree, buddy. No sirree. No sirree. The mic is up and down. Thank you for telling me, Thomas. Okay, let me see something. Thank you for letting me know that, Thomas. Is it better? Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Is it better? Thank you, Thomas. So no sirree. I'm not drafting no Jonathan Brooks. So now listen, guys. If you can stash him and get him late at a right ADP where you at the end of your draft, that's why I didn't really, this title is tough to do for me, the way I play fantasy football, the way I try to tell y'all to play. But this is a good title, and it hits the algorithm, so I needed to do it. I had a guy hit me up in the comment section and asked me to do this, and he wasn't a member, but I thought it was a great topic to do. But like I said, Jonathan Brooks, I'm not drafting him and waiting thinking, oh, he's gonna be a league winner. No, I don't think this guy's gonna be a league winner. Can he come out and win you 2 or 3 weeks at the end of the season in the 4th quadrant? He could do it, but I'm not going to take that risk. Now, if he on the waiver wire and I can pick him up, I'm willing to do that. Thank you, D-Lion. Thank you, Harambe. So no Jonathan Brooks for me. Let your league makes drafting it and depend on them. Okay, let's moving on to my next guy. And this guy's going to be a quarterback, and his name is Russell, last name Wilson. Russell, last name Wilson. My name is Russell, last name Wilson. Now listen, I'm not taking Russell Wilson in any drafts. I don't think he has enough upside, especially with the injury. Now, before the injury, excuse me, guys, before the injury that he had in camp, I might would have took a shot. Probably not. Maybe just to see if he's my 3rd quarterback or something in a super flex league. But now, no, I'm not taking no Russell Wilson because Justin Fields looks good. They got to go with Justin Fields. If he goes back to Russell, last name Wilson, Mike Tomlin probably going to be fired after this year. You got to let the young stud go. He got George Pickens out there, and George Pickens is a great quarterback for a guy like Justin Fields, where Justin Fields isn't the most accurate quarterback. But when you have a catch radius like George Pickens, you can make big plays And so Justin Fields can be great and run around and make plays and throw it up for the deep ball, and George Pickens is going to catch that. That's an 80-20 ball for George Pickens. Well, mostly it's a 50-50 ball with most people. It's 80-20 with George. So I don't think he might not get his starting position back. Especially when Justin Fields break out for a 70, 80-yard run. I mean, no way that the fan base is going to let Mike Tomlin go to no Russell. I don't care what he promised Russell. He made that mistake a couple years ago when he promised Mitchell Trubisky that he would be the starter, and he kind of ruined Kenny Pickett's career a little bit doing that. Where Kenny should have been a starter the whole time. And you going with Mitchell Trubisky. Siobhan, Russell's Wilson injury, I don't know, is undisclosed. If anybody know, put it in the comment section. But it's a nagging injury. I think it could be like a pull muscle or something. So Justin Fields has been playing in camp, and he's been playing well. He said, D-Line said, "Damn, why you had to mention Mitch? I still blame Mr. Fire Matt Canada, right?" And guys, if you're new in here, I will get to your comment. If you want your comment read out immediately, then you super chat. Other than that, I'm gonna go through the members first, and then I get to the comments from least to greatest. Hold on, guys. Let me see something here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's move on to my next guy. My next guy is going to be Josh Jacobs. Yes, Josh Jacobs. Now, let me look at Josh Jacobs' ADP so I don't make sure I don't say anything and I'll be wrong. So I just want to look at his ADP really quick. Okay. All right, let me find, guys, be patient with me. Okay, let me look at Josh Jacobs' ADP. And he's going around a lot of good running backs. Early in the season, he was going before Devon A-Chain, but now he's not. Okay, let's look at this ADP real quick. So Josh Jacobs, guys, is the running back 12, overall player 27. That's round 3. There's no way that I'm taking him in round 3 when you have guys like Kyren Williams, Derrick Henry, Rashard White, Alvin Kamara, Ramondre Stevenson, Zamir White, James Cook. I'm not taking him over. And listen, this guy could get 12 rushing touchdowns. But if you rely on him to be a top 5 running back, a top 12 guy, I think you could be sadly mistaken. I think they're going to use this guy to soften up the defense and depending on the weather. I think this is a passing team. You're not going to give Jordan Love that much money and then run it 60% of the time to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a 60% type running type style guy. If you want to get his value, he's not gonna bust 80-yard runs like that. He can, and don't get it twisted. Josh Jacobs is a good running back, but he is a volume guy. He's a 20-touch a game guy. He's not gonna get 20 touches a game every game. You see, they still picked up A.J. Dillon. They still have they got Marshawn Lloyd. So they not gonna just give Josh Jacobs a lot of work. But is he gonna have some good games? Yes. If you could get this guy, I would say instead of him being RB12, like RB24, if you could get him in the 4th round, 5th round as an RB2 or a 0 RB guy, like if you and now listen, it's no particular order. Let's just say if you get Tyreek Hill, and then you come around and you get Devontae Smith, and then Cooper Kupp, and then maybe Zay Flowers, and then you get Josh Jacobs, which you're not going to do that. So that's the only way his value to me makes sense. I'm not drafting Josh Jacobs over Zay Flowers. Not in this type of NFL. This is not the old school NFL. Now, if he was on the Raiders and he had Zamir White role and he was going to get 25 carries a game, then yes, I would draft Josh Jacobs. But I'm not drafting Josh Jacobs just for touchdown upside. If I want that guy, I can get James Conner, who is going 2 or 3 rounds later. I'm not drafting that type of guy that early. Thank you, D-Lion. Guys, hit the like button. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. Appreciate that, D-Lion. We'll get to everybody comment. Be patient. I just want to get through the content first. I don't want to be answering too many questions. Okay. So let's move on to my next guy. My next guy is going to be Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams. Now, listen, they said he lost about 15 pounds. He looked a little bit more explosive than he looked earlier in minicamp. They said he looked sluggish in minicamp. Right now, they say he looks a little bit more quicker. I just don't think he's going to be a top 12, top 24 running back. I think Sean Payton didn't draft him, so he don't really care nothing about him. And I think he want to play Audric Estime. I think he's going to be a committee until somebody break out. Remember when earlier in Sean Payton's career, when he first got to the Saints, and he gave Adrian Peterson a nice deal, and he also had he drafted Alvin Kamara in the late second round, third round. I think he still had Mark Ingram, if I'm not mistaken. I could be off, but he had like 3 or 4 really good running backs. Nobody knew. We thought it was going to be Adrian Peterson, and Adrian Peterson came out there and wasn't Adrian Peterson. He was good, but he wasn't Adrian Peterson. And he traded Adrian Peterson and let Alvin Kamara get the workload. So Sean Payton don't care who you are. So he's not going to come out there and give Javonte 20 carries just because his name is Javonte. He's going to have to earn it. So to me, the young whippersnapper is going to be the guy that I'm going to bet on, like Audric Estime or Blake Watson. And then again, like I told y'all earlier, ain't no such thing as a bad player in fantasy. If you can get these guys real late outside of the ADP, it is great. But let your league mates draft this guy and say, oh, I got Javonte Williams as the RB2, and I went 0 RB. All right, you can have him as a 0 RB. I'd rather take a rookie and stash him. I don't want Javonte Williams. I don't want to count on him. I hear you, Kenny. So let's move on to my next guy. And I want to apologize to my homie, The Road. Check his channel out. The Fantasy Football Road. That's his channel. But it's Chris Olave. And I never said Chris Olave was a sorry player or he sucked, but he's already hurt, and that's been my point. He's not a number 1 because of his stature. And listen, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a smaller guy, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is built like a running back. Tyreek Hill is built like a running back. Chris Olave is a skinny guy. He's about like 6 foot, 5'11", if I'm not mistaken. I think Chris Olave could make a lot of money if he would just say, listen, I'm a slot guy. I'm one of the best slot wide receivers in the NFL. And I think he could be tremendous. That's what he was at Ohio State. He wasn't better than Garrett Wilson. He wasn't better than Marvin Harrison. He wasn't better than Jackson Smith-Njigba. But as the 4th wide receiver, they would move him around, and he would make plays all over the field because they were just moving him around and putting him in the slide, maybe put him on the outside just for a deep route. He wasn't like, okay, give me 12 targets. That was Garrett Wilson. That was Marvin Harrison. That was Jackson Smith-Njigba in the slot and also on the outside. So I'm not taking Chris Olave in the 2nd round. I'm not taking him in the 2nd round. I'm not taking him in the 3rd round. The only round that I'm willing to take Chris Olave is in the 4th, and that's as my wide receiver 3. Now listen, if I got a heavy RB, like a robust RB build, then I'm willing to take Chris Olave and be my number 2 wide receiver at the best, not my number 1 wide receiver. There's too many good wide receivers out there. Now listen, the guy is going to get some targets. If he's healthy, he's going to get targets. But what he's going to do with it is he's going to stay healthy. You don't want to be in week 6 and the guy has got an ankle injury and you don't know if he's going to play. Now, that can happen to anybody, but you know when that happens to DK Metcalf, he's going to play. When it happens to other wide receivers who has a bigger stature, they're usually going to push through those injuries. Chris Olave is a smaller guy. That's why he had concussions a couple of years ago, taking them hits from 250-pound linebackers.
6 feet, Chris Olave, right.
He's 6 foot.
Like what, 185
pounds?
So, Chris Olave.
Let's move on to my next guy. My next guy is going to be Jeudy. And I hate to say it, man. I like to, I don't like talking junk about these players because I can't beat them up. Why am I going to talk junk about another man that I can't beat up? I can't beat up nobody in the NFL right now. I'm not in shape like that, whatever. But in my prime now, you know, you give me 15 years ago, I was a monster. But Jerry Booty. I hate to say it, man. And Jerry Jeudy was a great route runner. And I hate to say that. I could be completely wrong, and I apologize if I'm out of pocket. I usually don't give players nicknames. I don't like doing that.
But Jerry Jeudy,
I wouldn't. Why would I draft Jerry Jeudy? You got David Njoku on that team. You got Elijah Moore. Not saying Elijah Moore is going to be anything special either, but is Jerry Jeudy going to come in there and get 12 targets a game? That's the only way he's going to be fantasy valuable. Why would you draft Jerry Jeudy just to think that he's going to get hyper target one game because Deshaun Watson wants to do it? Or is he going to get past the defense and Deshaun Watson just going to throw it up there for him? It could happen, but you might as well just, you know, get him off the waivers. Why would you draft this guy? Let your teammates draft and say, oh, man, you got Jerry Jeudy. You got Jerry Booty. He might break out, bro. That's a great draft pick at the ADP.
I think
Jake Moody, he might thrash you, bro. That man is shape. That man out in 100-degree weather kicking about 50 field goals a day. That man in shape. You better be right. He said he's taking all bets. But yes, I'm not drafting Jerry Jeudy. Moving on to my number 5 guy. And this is obvious, but I had to put him on here because this list was tough. There's only a few guys that I'm not touching. I did like Quentin Johnston earlier in the offseason. I can't draft him. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I think they need to switch his position. I think he needs to come in and play running back. I think he needs to call Cordero Patterson and ask Cordero Patterson what did he do to transform his career. And I think that's what Quentin Johnston should be. Because when Quentin Johnston gets the ball in his hands, he's good. But this might be the worst draft pick, one of the worst draft picks of all time. The guy's athletic, he just can't catch. It is what it is. He a terrible. He got terrible ball skills. So did Cordell Patterson. Cordell Patterson had a little bit better ball skills than Quentin Johnston. Like he would catch most of them. Like, you know, he might drop. He's gonna have a drop a game, but Quentin Johnston might not even catch anything. So I'm not drafting Quentin Johnston. Let your teammates draft and say, hey man, he got upside. He was a top 15 pick. Let your teammates. Let your league mates draft him. Let your league mates draft him. Moving on. I got 2 more guys. My next guy is going to be Mike Williams. And my boy Ro is not going to like this one. He loved Mike Williams. I'm not drafting Mike Williams. I love Mike Williams coming out of college. He's been having bad injuries since college. You remember he almost lost, like his career almost ended in college. Like he hit the goal post and like almost broke his neck. It was bad. And then so he got over that. And then he's also a very violent guy on his body. Like he jumps up really high and lands awkwardly on his body like a lot, right? He's been doing it ever since he was in high school. But that's what makes Mike Williams great. And so he's been getting hurt every year. He's never finished the whole season. And he's coming off a knee injury, and he's like what, in his mid-20s. I mean, I think he's almost 30 years old. He's like 28 years old. I'm not drafting that guy, and especially, I mean, he might catch a few jump balls for Aaron Rodgers, but I would think somebody like Malachi Corley would end up being the number 2 wide receiver there. I don't think it's going to be Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams is just going to be a red zone guy, make some big plays. He might make a play where they need a touchdown and it's 4th down, and he can jump up and jump over somebody and catch it. He can do that, but is that going to be good enough for you to trust and start in fantasy? Best ball, maybe you could take a shot.
Maybe you could take a shot.
All right. So let's move on. This is another guy. And this is right here, guys. I saved the best for last. Let me go ahead and get ready to clip it. I'm gonna clip this one. This is gonna be a clip. A lot of you gonna be like, "Come on, TD," and I want y'all to challenge me. This is a guy that got real great ADP value, and I could be totally off, but I'm not drafting this guy. I think he's a good football player, but I'm not drafting him. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
Isiah
Pacheco. Let your league mates draft him. I'm not drafting him. And I've told y'all in plenty of videos why I'm not drafting Isiah Pacheco. The reason why I'm not drafting Isiah Pacheco, when they get into the green zone, which is the 5-yard and in,
most teams
are going to run the ball at least one time, maybe twice, probably twice. Probably twice, because a lot of teams go for it on 4th down around there. So they going to at least run the ball twice. Not Kansas City. Go back and look. According to PFF, the team that passes the ball the most in the green zone, and also according to ESPN, the coach who passes the ball the most when they get to the green zone is Andy Reid. And since Pat Mahomes been in the league, it's been Pat Mahomes as a quarterback. They don't run the ball down there. Never have. Now listen, will they run the ball in a certain game and Isiah Pacheco look great? Yes, they will. So I'm not drafting Isiah Pacheco because I'm going to be very disappointed when I draft him in the beginning of the 3rd round in a single quarterback league. Maybe at the end of the 3rd or beginning of the 4th. I even say beginning of the 4th. And he get down there. He been balling the whole series, and they get down there and they throw it to Travis Kelce, or they let Kadarius Toney get an end around. Kadarius Toney ain't been in the game. Been out there listening to his music, dancing around, got in trouble. He playing the game anyway, and they give him an end around, and he scored a touchdown. Guys, ain't no damn way no running back is taking that. Like, you ain't doing that to no Derrick Henry. Now, Derrick Henry would take the Zay Flowers called it or Mark Andrews called it, but they ain't going to hand it off to no Zay Flowers when they brought Derrick Henry in. Saquon Barkley, same thing. Would he take Jalen Hurts to keep it? Yeah, but he don't want no end around the Kenneth Gainwell. That's what happens on Kansas City. They get super cute down there. They might even play Ring Around the Rosie, Ring Around the Rosie, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. You seen that play? They didn't did that play, what, about 5 or 6 times? Who in the hell want a running back on the team where they playing Ring Around the Rosie? Ashes full as posies. I need that work. I need you to get that bell count work. Now listen, would I pick you up and play you in the flex and stuff like that at certain times of the season? Yes, I take that. Stop it, Arabi. Stop it. I'm trying to make content. Let me keep my face straight.
Yeah, I know what
It means. We know what that means, bro. But Kenny, you smart guy. Hey, I can tell you love history because I do too.
Right. So I'm not.
That's the reason why I'm not drafting Isiah Pacheco. This is not they're not going to run the ball in the green zone. Now, if Isiah Pacheco can break 40-yard runs, yes. Now, you might say, well, why are you going with Devon Achane? Raheem Mostert had the goal line touches. Devon Achane can break long runs. Now, if Isiah Pacheco could break long runs, like which he can, but he's a violent runner. He's a physical runner. He got speed, but he's not a guy who's like gonna have 8 yards per carry. So when you that type of guy, when you a violent runner, then you need to get the ball like within 10 yards and 5 yards. And I just don't think they're gonna do that. Now, will he end up having 10 rushing touchdowns? Yeah, but it could be like he could have 2 good games, then 2 okay games. And at that ADP, I think you can get guys who's getting 20 carries every single game and getting 100% of the carries. There's no way I'm drafting Isiah Pacheco over Ramondre Stevenson. I know the offense is better, but they're not going to give it to Isiah Pacheco every single time, where Ramondre is going to get that first opportunity to score. And I feel better. Even if Ramondre don't end up being better than Isiah Pacheco for whatever reason, as long as they giving him the ball and he can't get in, I just take that. But if they get down there and Kadarius Toney get a sweep, I'm gonna be pissed. I can see it, Kenny. Black Death, correct. It was the bubonic plague, and the kids were singing the songs. Yes, correct.
Okay, so let me get to
Some of these comments. This is the funnest part of the lives. I like to read y'all comments. Let's get to the comments.
yes, sir. Strop.
City in the building. So what up, TD? Harambe. Siobhan. She said, hey, guys. Okay, said I'm sounding clear. I see Nifty in the building. Siobhan says Vidal is maybe someone to look at before Dobbins. I agree. Kamani Vidal. I'm drafting Kamani Vidal over Dobbins all day long. Rookie running back stash. Yes, sir.
Ronald says,
how you think the Panthers are going to be this year, my main man? I think they're going to run the ball a lot, and I think they can win 5 or 6 games. I think the quarterback's going to have a good year, Bryce Young, and they're just going to be efficient. They're going to be more efficient. You're going to see this team is getting better, and so they're going to be building for something. They got to get them draft picks they sold for Bryce Young. D-Lion says, what's popping? Yo, chat, I'm pick 7. I just got Amara at 7. I'm going to pick next, Puka or Saquon. I would have went Puka. In a full PPR league, I would have went Puka. Yep, let me see.
Siobhan says, what
was Russ? Okay, we did that one. D-Line says, damn, why you? Okay, we did that one.
Siobhan says,
Javonte keeps falling to me in practice mock drafts, but I don't pick him. Yeah, I wouldn't pick him. Not with a 10-foot pole.
Gabe Bucker.
What's up, bruh? He says, I'm at the beginning. No, I'm not taking Dobbins or Edwards. Okay, I like Gus Edwards. I'm not taking Brooks either. I don't blame people for taking Brooks, though. Right. If you're willing to be patient and you got a good team where you can be patient with them.
Gabe says, when
I did my preseason predictions last year, I had Tomlin with the first year under 500, and that hurt. Right.
Let's see here.
Romby says Pacheco, Jeudy, Olave, J.K., Brooks, Mike Williams at Zach. Appreciate that, Harambe. Aaron Holloway, appreciate it. What's up, bruh? Guys, make sure you sign up as a member. I have a list in the league right now. We need 2 more people before it fills up. Free league, and I'm giving out cash prizes.
Harambe says,
Stephen G. Wilkers would be crushed. He loves Pacheco. TZ says, the only thing I see is late in the season like last year, they might lean on him more. Right. I agree with that. I do agree with that. I do think when it gets cold, I do think they will lead on Pacheco. I agree. But you waiting on a guy to do that, and you drafted him in the 3rd round. You better have a strong team. If you got a strong team, man, you great. That'll be a great method. I mean, it'll be fantastic. But when you draft a guy in the 3rd round, man, you need him to hit the first 4 weeks of the season. Last year, you were getting Pacheco in the 7th, 8th round. That was gravy value. This year, it's got to be immediate return in investment.
But I agree with that, TZ.
Harami says, yes, Kenny, it's pretty dark. TZ says, I agree. The Chiefs live to pass on the goal line. Plus, Chiefs going to pass a lot this year, I think. Yes. Kenny says, thank God you on, bruh. Just came from your channel where 9 people were screaming over each other. Yeah, I don't like that type of content. Now, I do like debates. I like saucy debates, right? Pause. But I don't want people like just talking, and it just don't make sense. And they getting off topic and doesn't, and they ain't bringing it back to fantasy football.
Appreciate you being here, Kenny.
You come here, man. You support, you comment. I appreciate you, bruh. I wish you would become a member of the channel so I can get you in the league. I need a couple more positions filled. All it costs is $1 as a member. That's the cheapest tier. But appreciate you being here anyway, bro. You always supporting the channel. Gabe says Josh Jacobs isn't bad, but I think he will get hurt this year. Okay. I'm taking Marshawn Lord late because I like his running style. Wanted the Bucs to draft him, but we got Bucky Irvin. Right. I don't know if he's going to get hurt. I just think his ADP is too high as a top 12 running back. Kenny says that Chris Olave is 6 feet. Yep, 6 feet, like 185. Gabe says, I love Javonte Williams, but he's got too much competition. Right. Facts. Kenny said, because I said that I can't beat up none of the football players in the NFL, so I'm not going to make fun of him. Kenny said he can beat up Jake Moody. I feel you. You try to call him out because of his size. And that dude might be right, man. He might be quick and strong.
Kenny says
Harbaugh swore by Moody. TZ says hard pass on Mike Williams. Yes, I'm not taking him either, bro. Gabe says I've been taking Olave at wide receiver too, but I've been wrong many times before. Right, and I don't listen. I'm not gonna sit there and say that you are wrong. I just can't do it. He's just not my cup of tea. Pause.
Kenny says, can we do a tomato
On Zeke Elliott versus Nick Chubb? Yes, I think Nick Chubb's going to win it, but we can do that. We definitely can do that. Let me get through some of these questions and I'll put it up there. Don't let me forget. Yeah, Rami says spicy. Talking about the Pacheco. Yes, it is spicy. Post game, appreciate you being here, bruh. I see you. Ryan Scar. He says, how you join the league? Sign up as a member. So it's at the top of the comment section, or you can go into the description box and go join as a member. Once you join as a member, you can go to the community tab and you can find the link to the Discord and the link to the league, which is Sleeper. If you don't know, just comment and say, hey, TD, I signed up as a member. How do I get into your league? And then I send you that. I send you the link through like an email, or I'll repost it in the community tab. And you can find it and you can get into the league. or I can send it through you to Gmail. However you want to do it. But sign up as a member first. That's all you got to do. Sign up as a member of the channel. And you got to stay on, as long as you're playing in the league, you got to stay on as a member. You can't get in the league and then don't be a member and you don't pay 1 month. You won't be eligible for a prize unless you make that up. So that's the few rules that I have. I see you, H Moore. I'm gonna get to y'all comments, but I got a couple other comments before I get to y'all. Appreciate y'all being here.
Let's see
here. Zach says, let your idiot league mates draft Nick Chubb. I will agree. I wanted to put him on there, man, but I don't know. I just didn't. I couldn't put him on there because he could end up coming back and being decent. I'd rather have him than J.K. Dobbins. All right, let's see.
Okay, hold on, guys.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, the only thing I see
is late in the season. Like last year, they might lean on Isiah Pacheco. Yeah, that's facts. Kenny says, I love history, bruh. Yes, sir. Harami said, I do too. Oh, he was giving Harami the peace sign. Nino says, where you got my boy Marvin this year? I'm taking Marvin probably in the 3rd or 4th round, and he's not making it there. He's going in the beginning of the 2nd round. That's where Marvin Harrison is going. I'd rather take Malik Neighbors over Marvin Harrison. That's just me. Nino. Zach says, why not Pacheco, TD? Bruh, he's not getting the goal line touches. Now, later in the season when it gets cold, he will, but he's not getting the goal line touches. The guy that I trust on the goal line for this team is Pat Mahomes. That's why Pat Mahomes in the past, has been a great fantasy football quarterback because he's getting 50 touchdowns because he's throwing like 12 one-yard touchdowns. 12 of them, where he's pitching it to Kelsey or flicking it to Kadarius Toney. Pacheco versus ETN. So let me go in this real quick. Okay, Saquon Barkley won this. So let me change the tomato. Let me change the tomato.
we
did it was gonna be Zeke Elliott.
Tomato. And it's going to be Zeke and Nick Chubb. Okay. I see you, Charlie.
Fantasy Land. He says, killing it, brother. Have a good night. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
I know
Fantasy Land football from somewhere, man. Where did I know you from? I think I watched that channel. Appreciate you being in here. Let's see. Okay. Zach says, okay, we're going to do, hey, Zach, remind me to do Pacheco and ETN. Remind me to do that. And that's going to be easy, bro. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to go ETN, but I could be wrong. But we will do that. Kazi says, I like Jacobs. They paid him. I think they will use him more than a goal line back. You could be right. Because the money, they did pay him. And I got to respect that, bro. That's why I could be called to the table on that. I will admit that I could be challenged that way. Because of they paid him the money. But does he give you the value back at that round? So look at his counterparts. So I think I was talking about his counterparts earlier. Let's look at some of his counterparts, Kazi. his counterparts at that ADP. All right, let me some largest, smallest to largest.
Okay.
So he was running back 9 earlier. Right now he's running back 12. Okay, so
Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry,
ETN, Rashad White, Ramondre Stevenson. Bro, I'm taking Ramondre Stevenson over Josh Jacobs. The reason why, I'm scared of Jordan Love throwing for 40 touchdowns. Now, can Jordan Love throw for 40 and Josh Jacobs rush for 12? That can possibly happen. So I'm not going to say that can't happen. But I'd rather have Ramondre. They paid Ramondre too. Ramondre catch a lot of passes. He's catch more passes than Josh Jacobs per season. Would I take him over Joe Mixon? I might take him over Joe Mixon. I think that's a good point. I could take him over Joe Mixon. If I'm looking for a running back, I might just fade running back at that point. Rashad White, I don't know. Rashad White going to catch 60 to 70 passes. I don't know. In a full PPR league, I'm taking Rashad White over Josh Jacobs. Travis Etienne, that much explosiveness, I'm taking the Etienne.
Derrick Henry, I'm taking
Derrick Henry over Josh Jacobs. It's just his counterparts. But I don't think he's a terrible pick. I just at the ADP and at that tier, I don't want him. I think he's the bottom of that top tier, the second tier.
Great point, though, Kazi.
Great point. Okay. Nino says, I think Warren going to be solid in that Steelers offense. I do too. I think Warren's going to be solid. They might trade Najee Harris. They might trade Najee. I doubt it, but they could.
If somebody goes down in
camp, somebody could be looking to pay a second round for Najee. They might go ahead and give that up, because if you just let him walk, what you going to get for him? You didn't re-sign him for the 5th-year option. Okay, so let's see. TZ says, where's the links for the leagues? TZ, are you a member? You got to sign up as a member. Once you become a member, join a member of the channel. I posted it it's the pinned comment at the top of the comments. I got 4 different tiers. The cheapest tier is $1. Everybody should have $1. That's how you join the leagues. You too, Ryan. I see you said, how do you join the league? All you got to do is just become a member of the channel, and then I send you the link, and that way you can get in. I got 2 leagues that's right now that's open. I got a Best Ball Dynasty League. And we need 3 more people for that league. That league is an entry fee, though. That league is $25. But the other leagues, the regular Best Ball League with no IDP, is only is free. And I'm providing the prizes. And I'm willing to do more. It just depends how many people want to do them. Lonely B says, everyone's sleeping on Josh Jacobs this year. Bro, I'm not going to sit here and say I ain't. I just don't want, I'm not taking him at that ADP. That's what it is. Like I said, I don't think there's necessarily bad players, but I'd rather let my league mates take them. And I go get somebody like Ramondre. I like Ramondre. I like Derrick Henry over Josh Jacobs. That's just me. That's the comparison I would like to see. That's the tomato that I would like to do. Post game says Williams could be released or traded. Right. Javonte Williams. Right. I think he's going to get released. Ain't nobody trading for him unless he looks good a couple games in preseason. H Moore, appreciate you, brother. He says, keep a lead, pick one, please. Dak for a 6th-round pick, or Love for a 13-round pick. 12-team league, all TDs are 6 points. Definitely love for the 13th round pick. Definitely love for the 13th round pick. Both of them are great values. Good job, bro. You got these guys at great values. If they traded for a nice wide receiver, which they still could do this, if they trade for a wide receiver, a good, like say if they got Brandon Ayuk, say they traded for Brandon Ayuk or something like that, right? I would say Dak Prescott. But right now it's CD Lamb, Jake Ferguson, and Bust, and a little bit of Rico Dowdle. That's all they got. They don't got nothing else on that offense. Nothing that I want to take for fantasy. So to me, I would go with Jordan Love. Kenny says, I'm sure you guys saw Nick Chubb squatting like 600 pounds. Right. Squatting 600 pounds is different than running the ball in the NFL. Right now, Shannon Sharp can probably bench about 500 pounds. But can he go out there and stop Nick Bosa from coming around the edge? No. Can he go out there and block a small corner? No. So strength is different. Like as you get older, you get stronger as a man. Like you might not be in shape, but you still are. You're like you stronger, but you not your fast twitch muscles is not like it was when you was younger. So I say that Nick Chubb might not be as quick as he was before the injury, and that's what makes Nick Chubb good because he's a big dude, like 235 pounds, who's quicker than you ever thought. Now, can he run straight ahead and run you over? Nick Chubb still can do that, but can he make somebody miss? You got to be able to make somebody miss. You got to be able to cut, and you got to be able to cut on a dime, not just okay. The drill tells you to do that. That's the difference to me when I see him squatting 600 pounds. Nick Chubb gonna be able to squat 600 pounds probably to the day he died. No pun intended. Right, like Kenny says, but can he make cuts? Charlene says, get your players now before preseason games start. Some players' ADP may move up. Right. Fantasyland Football says, killing it, brother. Have a good night. Thank you, bro. I know I watch y'all content, man. I watch y'all content. Really great content. Charlene says, do your homework now, not before your draft starts as well. Fact. Right. Charlene, she's very intelligent when it comes to fantasy football. She's been playing fantasy football about 15 to 20 years. Post game says, what's your take on Dalton Kincaid this year? I like him, but Knox worries me when it's time to cash in touchdowns. Yes. So you smart. You're very intelligent post game. Knox is going to get some touchdowns, maybe 4 or 5, because they set you up for that. See, and I like man, you let me know your football knowledge. Just because you're the number one guy, don't always mean you're going to get the touchdowns. There's very few teams that's good enough to know that you're the guy and get you the targets. That's like Travis Kelce, that's Mark Andrews. Those are that type of guy. But I do believe Dalton Kincaid is going to be that guy. But Dawson Knox will get some Tucker Kraft type receiving touchdowns. Tucker Kraft had a great year. Even when Luke Musgrave was the guy, Tucker Kraft still had some good games. If you don't know who those two tight ends are, those are the guys that's on the Green Bay Packers. But don't worry about Dawson Knox. You can't stop that. You got to let that happen. That's getting too cute, right? Trying to figure it out. Draft Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid could be the number 2, number 3 tight end easily. Shit, he could be number 1. So yeah, get Dalton Kincaid. Don't worry about nobody sniping him. Dalton Kincaid is going to be elite this year. They went and got him in the first round last year because they wanted to make their team tougher and get a tight end. Like, that's just a different style of football. Instead of being in a 5-wide system, I've been telling everybody that. That's why I'm not drafting a lot of Josh Allen. I don't think he's going to be passing for 40 touchdowns this year. Can he rush for 10 or more? He could. I think this team is going to be a tougher team. They're going to come and hit you in the mouth, and then they will be pushing the ball downfield to Kincaid and Keon Coleman at times and the other players. But they're not going to pass Josh Allen targets. His passing targets will go down this year. But great assessment, bro. Gabe Barker says Knox is supposed to be more of a blocking tight end now, but I still don't trust it. Right. He will get some targets in the red zone, but he's not going to hurt Dalton Kincaid. That's just, I wouldn't worry about that. Facts, Gabe Barker. Gabe Barker says, I'd rather have pitched this year with the new OC Then Kirko. I don't know who Kirko is. I think you're talking about Dalton Kincaid. But I do like Pitts this year. But I like a few guys. I have moved David Njoku over Pitts lately. David Njoku is probably going to be my number 3 tight end, and he's moving up. He's skyrocketing up the rankings. H. Moore says, thanks. Anytime, bruh. Siobhan says, TD, would you take Evans, Nico, or Waddle in round 3?
So who you got?
Already. Did you get Tyreek? If you going, I'm gonna say Waddle. It's between Waddle and Nico. I'm thinking Waddle. Who did you take in the first and second round? Do you got a Miami Dolphins? If you got a Miami Dolphins, go ahead and squeeze that team and get Waddle. And I think it's gonna be Waddle anyway. Gabe says, if you're looking for a high tier tight end. Yeah, Pitts. Okay, he was talking about Pitts.
Charlene says,
I think Chubb should take a year off. I do too, but there is always money involved. Fact, Charlene. If Browns aren't doing well, why put Chubb in? Right, but they're going to be doing very well this year. Yes, so Siobhan, yes, if you get Tyreek, you definitely get Waddle all day. Agree with you, Gabe. I think these Cleveland Browns will be the second team in that division, the second best team in the division in the AFC North. Post game says, Gabe Barker, man, I agree, but Kincaid got so much upside and a lot of targets are available in Buffalo. Right, 160 targets are available. I'm going with Kincaid. Gabe says, agreed. I think Kincaid will get the bulk of the target share. He's not a bad pick, but I don't want to take the risk. I love Keon possibly to my own detriment. Now, bro, it's a squeeze. If 2 guys that I'm targeting right now to this day is going to be Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid. I love and Josh, James Cook too. Also James Cook. Not telling you to get all of them, but I'm okay with drafting those guys in a vacuum. At least 2 of those guys on the team.
Kevin says, bruh.
Post game says, I love James Cook talent too, but does he get the rushing touchdowns is the question. This year, I think everybody knows that he should. If Sean McDermott don't give James Cook rushing touchdowns, I think that his job is going to be on the line. Especially if they don't win. I think that was a terrible thing that they did last year. They would put Latavius Murray in on 3rd and 8 and let him run routes and take James Cook out the game. That's weird. Something wrong with whoever the coaches is. Somebody weird. No way that happened in Kansas City. No way. If they could put Kadarius Toney in the backfield, why can't you put James Cook in the backfield and run plays to him? You can't say that you can't rely on James Cook. If Kansas City can rely on Kadarius Toney, you can rely on James Cook. So I don't want to hear no damn excuses for why you put Latavius Murray in the game on 3rd and 7 and he wasn't blocking. He was going out for a pass pattern. That is garbage. That's Garbino. That's not even fantasy football. That's dumb real life football.
That's why that offensive
Coordinator was let go. Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, Kirk could be all right for Kyle Pitts. I'm just worried about his injury. I want to see him come back first. That's why I got Pitts down and Drake London down. Nicholas Shannon, what's going on, Nicholas? I'm taking Pitts all day. I'm not getting Kittle unless Ayuk is traded. If Ayuk is traded, Kittle is a top 3 tight end. If Ayuk is traded, Kittle is going to be top 3. If Ayuk is there, I would say Kittle could finish maybe top 6, top 5, but he's going to definitely have some boom games. Harami says, don't get me started on Coach McDumbass for the Bills. Right.
Asia Moore says, I think
Allen is going to be solid. Shakir is going to surprise people. Right. Shakir's going to be okay. All those guys are going to be okay. I think Buffalo's going to be a tough team. It's going to be between Miami and Buffalo who's going to win that division. The Jets still could make the playoff if Aaron Rodgers gets hot down the stretch. So this is going to be a sneaky division.
I still think Buffalo.
Buffalo is going to be the second best team. It's going to be Miami, Buffalo. I think Miami will beat Buffalo. Maybe they split, but I still think Miami wins that division. Charlene says, give me Ferguson or Freiermuth. Yes, Freiermuth is also moving up my rankings. Ferguson is solid all day long. I like Ferguson over Dallas Goedert. And the reason why I say that, because I think that's a great tomato. I think both of those guys are really close. And I would rather take Ferguson, even though Dallas is going before him.
Let's hit the like button, guys.
Let's get the likes up. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. Charlene says Joe Brady. Right. Well, no, Joe Brady actually wasn't the offensive coordinator early. It was, I forgot the guy's name. He played quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes when he was in college. He had some good weeks with Josh Allen, but it started getting crazy. I can't think of him. He is an offensive coordinator right now for a team, which I think he's going to do well for. Dorsey. There you go, post game. Ken Dorsey. Facts. Facts.
Nicholas Shannon
Says, in the late round, Stafford, Cousins, Tua, Herbert, or Trevor Lawrence rank them. You know, bro, y'all gonna laugh at this. Nicholas, I was gonna say, when I seen that Tua, I was like, is that hot Tua? Hot 2? Pause. I was like, is that hot 2? But I got what you're saying. You're saying Tua. I'm gonna rank them. Matthew Stafford first. No, I would say Tua, Matthew Stafford. Tua, Matthew Stafford, very, very close. I love Matthew Stafford this year. Tua, Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Herbert, Cousins. Tua, Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Herbert, Cousins.
Gabe says T-Law.
Stafford, Tua, Cousins, Herbert, in my opinion. I respect that. I'm not putting T-Law up there, not yet. I'm putting Tua first. With all those weapons, I gotta put Tua first. Then I will go to Stafford. Then I go to T-Law. I do think Cousins can finish above Herbert,
But I can't put
him. I can't put him above. I can't put Cousins above Herbert quite yet. I think I might have already did. I might have did. But I do know that Cousins does have the upside to be better than Herbert because of the weapons. Herbert, he don't have the weapons, but he's a great talented. He's probably one of he's probably the most talented guy on that list. Yeah, he's all alone there, man. He's all alone. Yes, sir. All right, guys. I see nobody. I got those listener leagues. They ready. They are ready right now, guys, as we speak. All you gotta do is go to the top of the comment section and hit join as a member. And I got 4 tiers. I got a $1 tier, I got a $5 tier, I got a $10 tier, and a $20 tier. And that's how you're gonna get paid. So if you on a $20 tier, you're gonna be able to win a $100 gift card or better. It could be even better. It could be $200, but at least the minimum value is gonna be $100. And same thing for if you sign up as a rookie member, you can get a $10 gift card, and that's the minimum. So, guys, make sure you sign up right now as a member so you can get in these listener leagues. I'm not going to let anybody in those listener leagues unless you are a member. So make sure you sign up.
Nicholas says, how would you
rank Devontae Smith, Debo, Neighbors, Waddle, DJ Moore, and Cup?
I'm going
Waddle, Neighbors, Debo, Smith, and Cup. And then well actually no, I'm going with Moore before Cup. So let me do that again. Waddle, Neighbors, Debo,
Smith.
Moore, Cup. All those guys are good pickups. Ain't none of those guys bad. It was a tough ranking. That's a tough question, bro. That's a great ranking question right there. All those guys are really good. The only reason why I got Cup down farther, because you can get him later than those guys. Cup, I don't think he's going to outdo Puka, so that's why I got him low in the injury history. I got Waddle up there because I think that offense is going to be so explosive that he's going to have more boom guys than any of those guys. I got DJ Moore low because he got so many mouths to feed on his team, like far as Caleb Williams, right? Pause. Neighbors, I put him number 2 because he's the only big-time weapon on his team, so they're going to find ways to get him the ball. He probably going to get more targets than any of these guys. Debo is on a mission. If he stays healthy, he could be a top 12 wide receiver easy.
So that's giving you some
context of why I ranked him that way. Can Watson finish top 15 this year? Yes, he can. Watson can finish as a top 15 wide receiver this year. I'm banking on him doing it. I'm taking him. I think that he's going to be healthy with the hamstrings.
Moore says
Cousins has some nice talent around him. Right. We just need to see him be healthy, bro. I'm worried about the Achilles. Not worried like something's going to happen. I just need to see it. William, what's up, William? Appreciate you being here. He says Herbert is going to have the best year rushing, I think, the season with Roman as OC. Bro, if they happen, they're going to get fired. They can't run the ball with him like that. Like, he might get a few runs, a few rushing touchdowns, but, bro, they can't do that. That's not the type of quarterback he is. He's too good in the passing game. You can do that with Lamar earlier in this career. You can do that with Jalen Hurts. You cannot do that with Herbert. Herbert's arm talent is second to none. Like, he's got a strong arm. He might not be the most accurate guy, but he got a good arm. He got touch. He's got better at those things from his rookie year. You can't run. You can't give him. I don't know what the borderline would be for carries, but you can't give him a lot of carries. You better, if they do that, man, it's gonna be terrible. Like, they're gonna run Jim Harbaugh out of there. If Herbert goes down with a shoulder injury from running the ball on the goal line, they're gonna run his ass up out of there. But that's a good assessment with Roman. I think I would bring Roman in as in for Gus Edwards and Kamani Vidal. That's why I think Roman's gonna help this team. Remember, Roman was the OC when Alex Smith was the quarterback. It just wasn't with Colin Kaepernick. So when Alex Smith was the starting quarterback, Frank Gore, and I don't know who the backup was, they was really good running backs. So I just don't think he need rushing quarterbacks. He's good for the offensive line and the running backs too. Chris, what's going on, bro? Good to see you in here. He says Christian Washington showing up this year. I like him, but the situation is shaky. Now, man, when he's healthy, bro, even last year with all those weapons, when he was healthy, he led all wide receivers on that team in targets and touchdowns. He led in every wide receiver metric. So I'm not worried about it as long as he's healthy. That's the only thing we need to hope for. When he's healthy, bro, he's getting the targets. Gabe says, and Nicholas, that's a tough one. I go Debo, Neighbors, Waddle, Moore, Cup, Smith. Okay, I respect that. You can't go wrong any way you rank those guys. That's a tough one, man. That was a great question. Charlene says football tomorrow. Yeah, preseason. I don't care. Love football. Facts. Right. H. Moore says, want to say it now. Like your platform, my brother. Your live popped up in my feed, and it was worth checking it out. Keep up the good work. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Strop City says, I'm in my first Superflex 2-quarterback league. As a man of the fantasy community, best draft advice I have picked 4. Okay, so I'm in my first Superflex 2-quarterback league, As a man of the fantasy community, best draft advice I have picked for. I would say try to get Amon-Ra St. Brown. If Amon-Ra or Tyreek can make it to you, I don't think Tyreek will make it to you. I would say take Amon-Ra, Tyreek. Let me see. Let me look at something real quick. Amon-Ra, Tyreek. I'm okay with CeeDee Lamb, but I'm not huge on CD. But I think it wouldn't be a bad pick. But I'd rather have Amon-Ra over CeeDee Lamb. If CMC fall to you at the 1-4, I don't think that's a bad pick. So I would say Amon-Ra and CMC is the guys that can make it there. But if Tyreek fall to the number 4, you definitely got to take him. And what? But you said it's super flex too. So I'm pretty sure. Know what? Get Tyreek Hill because Tyreek gonna be there. Hey H Moore, Tyreek Hill is gonna be there. It's super flex. It's super flex. Let me see. And it's not dynasty either. Take Tyreek Hill. Take Tyreek Hill. Nicholas says the reason I asked because those are the picks I can take in the 4 and the 5 when the first pick in a 10-team league. I really like Waddle and Smith. Right. Let's see here. Right. Those are the guys you're going to take in the 4th and the 5th round. Okay, in the 4th and 5th round. Got you. Yeah, I like Waddle too, but I want try to get Tyreek Hill to try to squeeze that, right? That offense. Let me see. He says, Zach says, is Debo a volatile player you would consider drafting? Yes, as a third wide receiver. If I can get him as my third wide receiver, I'm gonna feel great about having Debo. Also, I heard Purdy been throwing a lot of interceptions during training camp. Don't worry about that. Purdy is good. That's just the way he played ball. I don't think they're gonna sign Purdy to a huge deal. I think Purdy's gonna have to take a discount, and I think Purdy's gonna take it. He don't want to go nowhere else and try to be a quarterback. So they're gonna give Purdy they're gonna lowball him as getting a deal. He won't get like a tour deal. I don't think so. But yes, I would take Debo as my third wide receiver. Yeah. So yeah, Strop City, I would definitely take Tyreek Hill. And try to get Waddle, bruh. I think Waddle is gonna be good for you in the 4th and 5th, especially if you got Tyreek. Nicholas says I'm willing to take a shot on Neighbors. Yes, I am too. Over Marvin Harrison Jr. Not at the same ADP, but I would pivot off of Marvin Harrison and get Neighbors in the 4th round. Okay, he said the league is on ESPN, so Water goes later. Okay, got you. Zach Sims is Garrett Wilson versus Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, so let's do that. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's try that. Garrett Wilson. And Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, there we go. All right. H Moore says, take the Sun guy. I'm taking Tyreek. Since it's super flex, I know Tyreek gonna be there. I can't draft Amara over Tyreek. Now, will it be crazy? No. But Tyreek gonna have boom games. I don't think Amara's gonna go for 1,700 yards plus. I think he's gonna go for 1,400 to 1,500, 10 receiving touchdowns, but not 1,700 to 2,000. I think Tyreek can get 1,700 to 2,000. Gabe says, as that Debo is the only Niner I'm taking other than CMC that I can trust to get runs, if nothing else.
Yes.
I mean, actually, I like Ayuk as a pure wide receiver if he gets paid, but I will take Debo as the number 3 wide receiver if it works that way.
Charlie says, thanks, TD.
Have a good night. Anytime, Charlene. What's up, Looney? Looney says Purdy making the minimum now, and he got them to the Super Bowl, so I don't think they will lowball him because of that. Yeah, but bruh, don't you know most people that take a team to the Super Bowl, he's going to get, like, he's not going to get Jalen Hurts money like the way Jalen Hurts got money when he got his deal. Purdy, bruh, is going to get 80% of what Jordan Love got. 80% of that. He's not going to get more than what Jordan Love, because you would think he would get paid more, right? Jordan Love hasn't been to a Super Bowl. They not going to give Purdy that type of money, bro. They would be a fool to do that. And the reason why, Purdy is good. He's not Tua. He don't have the draft capital that Tua got. They know that what Shanahan is going to sell him on is, listen, we're here, man. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to make life-changer money. We're going to guarantee you like 140. We're not going to give you 190, 180 million dollars guaranteed when you sign your deal. But because we need to keep these weapons around you. If we let George Kittle and Debo and Ayuk go, he might not even have 10 passing touchdowns, and they will basically have to get fired. So they not gonna play Purdy. That Purdy want those weapons. He's gonna say, listen, pay me a deal where I can keep these elite weapons around me, and I'm okay, because it's gonna be life-changing money. And hey, bro, we can bet on that. I bet you on that, because Purdy need weapons. He's not a physical specimen where he can push people down like Josh Allen and throw the ball and run out for 50, 60 yards. He's a guy that he's very smart and intelligent, and he's going to take the Tom Brady's type deals. That's my 2 cents on that. Siobhan says, King Henry will continue to move up in the ADP as we get closer to season started. Right, because he's going to get all them goal line touches. He's going to get all those goal line touches. Chris says, what you think about Russell? That's Nate Wilson this year. He was on that list, bro. I'm not touching him. Let your league mates draft him. I think now that he got hurt, I think Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback. If they don't make Justin Fields the starting quarterback and Russell Wilson comes out and struggle, Mike Tomlin's job is going to be on the line. Now, if Justin Fields struggle, they can go back to Russell Wilson. But if you go and you sit Justin Fields down and you pay Russell Wilson, that's going to be the second time something like that has happened. Nicholas says, you taking Tyreek over C-Mac and Lamb? Yes, sir. Easy, Nicholas. Easily. Hey, go look at my channel, bro. Listen, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be honest with you, Nicholas. You can talk to Travis Looney. You can talk to Zach. It's a lot of these guys in here, they would tell you. I was one of the first guys that was on Tyreek, even I would say 4 years ago. And listen, we all knew he was a top 12 wide receiver 4 years ago. Now, listen, before I started doing fantasy football content, I said that Tyreek Hill was the best wide receiver in the league, and he was going to be that, and he was going to be a Hall of Famer. I said that 7 years ago, when he, like his third year, when he went for like 1,300 yards for Kansas City, like the first year that he broke out before they won the Super Bowl, I was on Tyreek Hill. That's neither here nor there. But when everybody knew he was top 12 and he was fast or whatever, now when he went to Miami, people was like, that's dumb. I said Tyreek Hill about to break records. This is going to be phenomenal. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. And people said I was crazy. Go ask Zach Seaman. Go ask Travis Looney. Ask, let me see if anybody else in here. There's a couple guys that's been here for a long, long time. Siobhan been watching me for a while. Harambe been watching me for about a year. Aaron Holloway. Go ask some of these guys. Bro, I'm on Tyreek, and I've been telling people to draft Tyreek over CMC for years, and it didn't never hurt me. Even though CMC was the #1 running back and he was nasty, Tyreek was still elite too. I said that Tyreek was going to be great with Tua. I said Tua was going to get a deal. People said Tua should be out the league. I said Tua going to be great with Tyreek. Gabe says, I take Ayuk at wide receiver 3, but he's too inconsistent for me. Debo isn't that much better, though. They inconsistent in fantasy football, yes. But I still like those guys. They very, very efficient. Rami says, yes, the cheetah. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna try to provide another video for y'all where it's like between 6 to 10 minutes. Because I think that helps the algorithm. I don't do a lot of videos as much, and I got to get my algorithms open for videos again. Gabe says Tua is always underthrown, but they are so incredibly wide open. You right, Gabe. And I said that. I said that Tyreek was, but what happens is Tua gets the ball out early. So listen, bro, this is a scout. This is some deep stuff I'm about to give you. This is the sauce, Gabe. And you know this too, because you seem to be a very intelligent individual. So Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, a couple other guys that don't have super strong arms, what they do for the deep ball is they get the ball out early. So if you throw the ball while the wide receiver's still giving the sauce to the corner, he's still going to run under it. Now, Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen can just sit back there and wait, and still throw it and let the wide receiver run under it. Tua can't do that. If Tua wait, then he's going to be then Jalen Waddle and Tyreek's going to be turning around waiting for the ball. And that still can be a completion, but they don't want that. If you watch Tua, a lot of times, man, Tyreek ain't even looking for the ball. He's still giving a move, but Tua go ahead and throw it anyway. And then when Tyreek look up, the ball right there. So he's throwing it out there before the corner, and anybody with a safety can turn around and look at the ball. The ball is already going to a certain spot, and Tyreek is running under it. That's what I told people. Everybody thinks it's all about arm strength in the NFL. It is not. It's about anticipation. Brock Purdy is a great anticipation guy. Trey Lance never learned how to anticipate throws. He was waiting for people to get open. You got to throw it to a spot. That's what the NFL game is about. Would you trade, C.A. Jefferson said, would you trade DK Metcalf for Kelsey and Adams? So in Dynasty, if I'm close to winning a championship this year and I'm going for it, I don't know your roster. But if I'm going for it, I can say, yeah, you're getting 2 for 1, and these are elite guys. In Dynasty, and you still just trying to build a super roster, I wouldn't do it. You getting 2 old players that could retire next year. But if you're ready to win a championship this year, if you got a super team and you need a couple more players, then yeah, go for it. It's a good trade. But it's all about if you ready to win now or you still building. Don't make the mistake and say, well, I think I can win now, but you still building. Think about next year, what type of players you might want to draft. So if you're ready to go for it and your team is ready, then I say do it. But don't be like, well, now I got to rebuild. You don't want to make this move and now you got to rebuild, right? You want to be able to make this move, win a championship, and still have a team that you can move forward with and trust. Zach says, I think Roschon Johnson is a running back late. Johnson is a RB to draft late. Facts. I like him. I think he's gonna overtake DeAndre Swift eventually because he's a better pass blocker. Gabe Barker says, yep. Yes, sir. Nicholas says, but I'm taking A-Chain in a second. I am too. And potentially Waller, so I'm just going to take C-Mac. See, I'm telling you, get both of them. Get A-Chain, Tyreek Hill, and Water. I know that sounds crazy, but hold me accountable to that, Nicholas. If I'm wrong, man, I tell you. I got plenty of leagues, and I posted it in my community tab. I got Jalen Water, Tyreek, and A-Chain. Yes. And I'm okay with having Tua. I know you might think I'm crazy. I'm not. I'm willing to do that because I'm going to have other players around those guys where if 2 of them don't ball out, I'm okay with that. They still could be top 32. But 2 of those guys going to be top 5 every week. Tua going to be top 5. Tyreek gonna be top 5, or A-Chain, or Waddle. Out of those 4 guys, 2 of them gonna be top 5 each week. I don't care what the other ones are. You can't tell me that you're gonna draft 2 other players and they all gonna be top 5. That's impossible. You're not gonna have Breach Hall, B. John, and Pat Mahomes, and Travis Kelce, and Derrick Henry, all of them. You can't get that. So I would say go get this offense, because they're gonna be spread around, and you know you're gonna get that boom from 2 of those guys. It ain't like all 3 of them gonna play bad and one guy might be top 24. That's not on this offense. Maybe in a snow game that might happen, and then you got other players that you can pivot off of.
Also, cuffing
A-Chain with Mostert. Right. I wouldn't worry about cuffing A-Chain with Mostert. I would just worry about getting another good player. That's all I would worry about this year.
C.A. Jefferson, appreciate
you. Yeah, I'm airways trying to win now. I'm always trying to win now. Right. Slitty, what's going on? Appreciate you being here, bro. He says, what order in Dynasty you drafting Brian Thomas Jr., Coleman, Worthy? Right now, it was Brian Thomas Jr. first, but now I'm going to say Keon Coleman, Worthy, and Brian Thomas Jr. So Coleman, Brian Thomas Jr., and Worthy right now.
Gabe says Keon,
BTJ, Worthy. I'm fading all Chiefs except maybe Hollywood Brown. Siobhan says A-Chain or Kyron. I'm going A-Chain over Kyron. I love Kyron, but I'm going A-Chain for the boom. I could be too high on A-Chain. I love A-Chain this year. He might only be healthy for 7 games, but I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna be able to pivot if he does go down. Not with the backup. If I have Jalen Wright, that's fine. If I have Mostert, that's fine. I'm not worried about having him. I just gonna have another guy on my team like a Ramondre Stevens or somebody else. H1 says, okay, I'm gonna hold on to all those Dolphins. Laugh out loud. I feel you. I think you can have that, man. I think A-Chain, Tyreek, and Water all gonna ball. And I wouldn't mind having 2. I'm not telling you need to have all of them, but I don't think it'd be a bad idea. I did it last year and won a champ. Actually, I lost in the championship game. Tyreek got hurt. If Tyreek wouldn't have got hurt, I would have won my championship. But he wasn't quite the same player at the end of the season.
I can see the receipts
for that too. Gabe says, I'm taking A-Chain, but Kyron is the safer pick. Right. He is the safer pick. Facts. Broad Street Bullies, Fantasy Football. What's up, bro? He says, I just did a draft where I got Hurts, Barkley stack, and a Tua A-Chain stack, and drafted Mostert and Jalen Wright. I got the whole running back backfield of the Dolphins. Good job. Listen, man, Mostert, I think he might fall off this year, but who knows? The offense O-line is not good. A-Chain going to catch more passing than rushing. Yes, he could do that. But listen, see, this is what I got to teach people. Some teams' offensive lines don't matter that well. It's all about the scheme. Look at last year with the Rams. They said that offensive line was going to be bad, and that was a top 12 offensive line according to PFF. See, it's all about scheme. I'm not worried. Now, listen, if it was like the Cowboys or somebody, yes, I'm worried about the offensive line because the way they play. But when you have a Shanahan team, the offensive line, they make offensive linemen. That scheme is so good. It's so in front of its time. But I'm not worried about no offensive line. Not at all. Because that ball is coming out quick. And then when they take their shots, the defense don't even know what the hell is going on. And so now they can't just rush and pin their ears back against Tua. Tua wasn't the most sacked quarterback, and they didn't have an elite offensive line for his talent, but that offensive line was really good. They blocked really well last year. It's a couple of times that you could get to Tua when they got behind and they wasn't running the ball well in certain times like that in the cold. But most of the time, you couldn't sack Tua because you didn't never know what was coming. All the motion. See that, and that's why I think my channel is really good. I break that type of stuff down where people are like, well, the offensive line is not always the same for every team. Some teams need a strong offensive line, some teams don't.
Siobhan
says, if I get Tyreek and Water, then HA maybe too many Miami players. No, those 3 guys are perfect. Those 3 guys are perfect. Because you're going to have other good players too. Siobhan says A-Chain, Kyron, or King Henry. I'm going A-Chain. Kyron and King Henry. I would say Kyron. You could wait late and get Kyron in the 3rd round, maybe in the late 2nd.
Gabe says, I'm
Personally not worried about the line with A-Chain. He's super quick. He definitely has the potential to be one of those backs that turn something from nothing. The Gone Network, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. Do you give out Dynasty roster advice? Yes, I do. Gabe says Henry in redraft league over A-Chain. Yes, I can see that. I think he's safer. He's safer. But A-Chain in that keeper or Dynasty league. Zach says, I like both Kyron and A-Chain. I do too. Kyron will be good again this year. Not scared of Blake Corum taking too much workload from Kyron. Me neither. Yes, I understand the Dolphin scheme is amazing. A-Chain great for PPR. Right. That scheme is great, man. I don't think the offensive line going to matter. I could be totally wrong, but I've never, like, look at any time that you look at these top offensive coordinators. Look at Andy Reid, bro. That offensive line never really struggled. They struggled in the Super Bowl that one year, but that's mostly what they had all year. And Pat Mahomes wasn't sacked that much. When you got a good offensive scheme, bro, the way the game is played now, the way the passing game, guys getting the ball out quick. That's how Tom Brady was so good for years, and he never had a bad offensive line. It was always said hit, bam, said hit. The ball was always coming out quick. And I've been on that. I saw, I watched so much football in my life, and I saw so many different schemes where quarterbacks will hold on to the ball a lot, and they took a lot of sacks. And I seen where, like, dang, we can't get to this guy because everything was quick. It was screens, it was slants, and then it was some play action, and you didn't in a waggle. It was a lot of stuff going on. David Taylor says, appreciate the content, bro. Who would you take as the quarterback 2 in a Superflex 10-team league? As the quarterback 2 in a Superflex 10-team league, keeper league, 4 people. I have Anthony Richards as my QB1. Okay, who would you take as a QB2 in a Superflex 10-team league? So it's 10 teams, so you need an elite guy. I would say I like CJ Stroud or Lamar Jackson. CJ Stroud or Lamar Jackson. And those are guys that's going early. Those are guys that's going early. 619 Bengals fan said, I said what I said. Yes, sir. Zach says, I can't wait to get A-Chain in the 4th round in a lot of leagues. I've done it in a few drafts already. Yes, you're killing it. Gabe says, people sleeping on A-Chain because of the injury risk and offensive line. Great pickup in round 4. Right. David says, we start 2 quarterbacks every week. Right. I play in leagues like that too. And Broad Street Bully says Golf Collar Murray. Yeah, man. It just depends on where you drafting at. I don't know when you drafting. I know you said you got Richardson, but I'm just giving you a few guys that I like. Matthew Stafford is fine. Jared Goff is fine. More around Jordan Love, Collar Murray range. Okay. I see what you're saying. Jordan Love. I would go with Kyler Murray. I would go with Kyler Murray over Jordan Love, if you can. But if you take Jordan Love, it's nothing. I'm not going to be mad at you. But Kyler Murray has more of a negative game script, which is a positive regression, like not positive regression, but positive. He's going to be throwing the ball more because they're going to be down more. Where Jordan Love can get up and they can't run the ball because they're going to be in Green Bay in the cold weather. So that could be when they start using Josh Jacobs or or AJ Dillon. So I would say Kyler. I think this team is going to be trailing more, and I think Kyler's going to throw probably more passes with rushing upside. He still can run the ball. So I would say Kyler slightly off the hair off of my chin. Gabe says, take Jaden Daniels. I like Jaden Daniels too. That's a good stash. David says, would you take them over one of the rookies like Daniels? Yes, I would. I would take both of them over Daniels. Anytime, bro. Anytime, David. All right, guys. Well, look, I'm going to get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all be safe. I will be dropping more content tomorrow. Make sure y'all sign up as a member if you want to get in the listening leagues. Peace.